Welcome in the third part of a concise introduction into the challenges of cognition in intercultural communication. My name is Helena Tužinská. I'm from Faculty of Arts, Comenius University in Bratislava. Every tool can help us to be clearer in intercultural communication. In the first part, we have been introduced to the cultural atlas in order to get a better navigation in cultural specificities and corresponding values. In the second part, we have presented a tool to understand how our distant past influences current forms of emotional survival and moral reasoning. In this part, we will focus on the patterns of thought that structure the processing of everyday interactions. This matrix will surprise you. Cognition can be tricky for very simple reasons. Thinking is very costly. Our minds optimize information inputs, maximize effect, and minimize effort. This laziness results in thinking in shortcuts. If these shortcuts are accepted even collectively, they are labeled as normal. Patterns of such systematic errors are taken usually for granted. If these distortions affect our perceptions, we can observe that we may not make the right decision, we may adapt behavior inappropriately, our judgment may be misguided, and we may even remember it all incorrectly. By clicking on the link on the right, you will get this interactive matrix. This codex will lead you into 4 areas of common distortions of our mind. So, for example, on the top left, we have the functions behind the creation of false memories. Our mind is able to edit and reinforce certain images in ways we have not experienced simply because they are not consistent with our previous beliefs. For example, when a car crash was screened to a group of people, one group was asked about the crashed cars and the other about their collision. The first group claimed that the video also showed shattered glass, while the second group believed that they were just crumpled. In fact, the glass remained intact. This example shows how it is not only our perceptions, but also our descriptions and expressions that influence what we remember. But let us not forget that our memories are also influenced by who we tell them to. Being in the midst of a foreign culture is always a challenge. Imagine we have to process too much new information. We are lacking the meaning. We need to decide very quickly, and we simply can discard some memories because there are too many specificities, and we need to decide. Also look at these core concepts, again those which are supported by moral emotions. What is at play? Does it have to do anything with ethnic stereotyping? So if people are convinced that some features, some traits are necessarily linked with their ethnicity, is it not ethnic stereotyping? Where would it fit? In the right-hand corner you have 3 points with many other small dots. You can select at least 10 of them with which ethnic stereotyping could easily fit in. By clicking on stereotype, you get to the full explanation of the term. Did you know that it has pretty ancient origin and has been first used in printing? Just as a stereotype has greatly cheapened printing, similarly in our minds, it saves energy in processing information quickly. The stereotype replaces the original, both in the printer and in the mind, and is especially functional in the absence of contact with the original. The closer the direct contact is, the less functional the stereotype is. until it finally breaks down, because for too many exceptions, it becomes unsustainable to the point of being useless. So what does working with cognitive bias matrix look like in practice? It helps us to change the perspective, so that the tools that are in play during communication are not running unchecked on autopilot. If we know that people have multiple identities, we can see that human minds use stereotypes only as a crutch. By polarizing, we only reinforce distortions instead of adventurous discoveries. If we encounter a strange cultural practice, we can ask two questions. Does it have to do anything with the human right? Are they kept for all actors? And the second one, why is in this practice underlined its cultural side? Is it not just another ethnic stereotype? Because, unlike stereotypes, cultures are never fixed but change with history.